Do we really need another 1176 clone or a VCA compressor knockoff? In this video, we're going to take a look at a unique compressor design, which is a psychoacoustic compressor. In this video, we're going to review the PSP Flare by PSPaudioware.com. This is Alex from Alex Pro Mix. Let's go. Hey everyone and welcome. In this video, we're going to review the PSP Flare by PSP Audioware. This compressor is not just another compressor in the market, which there are plenty of. In fact, PSP have done the research and have come up with a new type of design. We're going to smash this compressor and you're going to notice how musical it sounds with dynamic instruments such as piano and vocals. Without further ado, let's hear our track. All right, cool. So for starters, let's start off with a piano track, which is one of the most dynamic instruments known to man. And the dynamics on the piano are very hard to control, especially for modern production. So let's see what we can do. This is the piano track with no processing. Very nicely played with dynamics, strong in the intro and then it comes down and then it builds up. So let's use PSP Flare and see what we can do. The parameters are very common to understand as they are found in other compressor plugins, but the results will vary. Under timing, you have attack and release. Compression section gives you threshold and ratio. For levels, you have gain makeup with an auto makeup mode that roughly readjusts the post-compression gain and gain output. And they have a limiter section that you can enable or bypass. You can also enable or bypass the compressor section. It will gray out. Below you have the look-ahead control, which sets up the amount of look-ahead time as percentage of value calculated from the attack time. And what that means is that the higher the look-ahead, the more transients are compressed. However, this helps prevent transients from popping out of the steady part of the sound, which usually sounds more natural. You'll hear that in the examples to follow. Then you have a sidechain high-pass filter. This is a sidechain high-pass filter applied to the control signal. It doesn't affect the process signal, but influences how the compressor responds to low frequencies. And sidechain link, as well as auto output and auto release and RMS. But we'll get into that later. All right, so let's go ahead and reset these settings. We'll turn off our hints and let's see what we can do to compress the piano track. Here we go. So right there, we're getting about 10 dB of gain reduction, which is quite a bit, especially for a piano, but it doesn't sound bad, right? So what we want to do to massage that is play around with the look ahead, play around with the timing, and see if we can smooth out the compressor without getting unwanted artifacts, which is what you commonly found with other compressors. All right, here we go. That's nice. I like the transition from loud to soft. Let's listen to that again. This is without the compressor engaged. And with. All right, but it sounds a little bit too aggressive. So there's a couple of things that I can do to help smooth out the compressor. I can slow down the attack. I can also increase the look ahead from 0 to 100. And what I'm listening for when I adjust the attack and the look ahead, I'm listening for the compressor not to clamp down on the transients of the instrument, I want to compress a lot, yes, but I don't want to sacrifice or compromise the natural transience of the instrument because then it becomes unnatural sounding. All right, so I think this is a good starting point. Let's go ahead and play this in the track and listen to the transition. So we're going to listen to this part right here with the compressor and then without. Here we go. Okay, now let's bypass the compressor. It's extremely soft, so we'll engage it. Now for a visual aid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to render this section right here. And let's see what the compressor settings applied looks like. So this bottom waveform is with the PSP Flare. As you can see, there's a smoother transition from loud to soft, whereas on the original performance, it's pretty drastic. It goes from very loud to very soft. This soft part can get lost in the mix, especially if you start adding orchestral elements, percussions, and vocals. Whereas with PSP Flare, it retains that dynamics, but it also allows the soft sections to come up in the mix, and I think that's amazing. You can see here that there's a little bit of a peak here on the transients. So what can we do to smooth that out even more? Well, let's figure that out. All right, so we'll delete that. Let's go ahead and put PSP Flare on. Now what I want to play around with is the limiter. Okay, so I'm going to engage the limiter. I'm going to set the release to 50, and I just want to tickle this limiter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the ceiling to where the outer meters are showing, are just barely being tickled by the limiter, so that I'm not clamping down completely on transients, but I am controlling them. All right, so that's about a 2 dB gain reduction max on the limiter. And let's go ahead and render that and take a look at our visuals. And there it is. So whereas before I had a peak there, putting the limiter eliminated that peak, so I can play around with that. But this is basically more even sounding throughout the track by using a combination. Let's bring the limiter up to about -5, and let's play this from the top. Here we go. That's very nice, because when we're transitioning from loud to soft, we're still retaining the dynamics, but the low level information is coming up, and I think that's brilliant. All right, now let's go ahead and apply that to the vocals, which is over here. Let's go ahead and listen to the vocalist by himself, soloed, and then we'll listen to it and then play around with the PSP Flare plugin. Here we go.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody try and shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling, and all I want to do is wake up.
Lovely performance with some printed effects, and that's fine. We can manage that. Let's go ahead and use PSP Flare and see what kind of options we have. So again, I'm going to play around with the attack and release mode, threshold and ratio, and gain makeup and see what kind of results we get. Also, I will mention that there is a mix knob. So if you use hyper compression, that basically means if you're over compressing the signal and you want to blend in some of the dry information, you can do that here with the mix knob. So let's go ahead and play around with these settings and see what results we can get. Here we go.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody try and shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling.
All right, right there. So the transients are getting excited. The consonants of the vocal performance are getting excited.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody try and shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground.
Right there where it says walking. Let's pay attention to that.
Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground.
Okay, cool. This is before.
Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground.
And after.
Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground.
Cool. Let's see if we can smooth that out a little bit more. So I'll play around with the look ahead and the attack.
Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling. Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling. Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling.
So what I'm listening for when I'm playing around with the attack setting is I want to I want to kind of clamp that down a little bit on those consonants. I don't want them to be overexcited. And that's typically what happens when you use hypercompression, is that the consonants, the soft level information, low level information gets brought up really loud. And then you start hearing pops and clicks and different mouth noises. And so we want to tame that with the attack, but we also want to use the look ahead to give us that extra advantage here.
Shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground.
I think that's pretty good. Let's go ahead and just render that part. I'm curious to see what that's going to sound like and look like. So we'll go ahead and make a selection here. We'll render that. And let's check that out. So this is before and this is after. They look really similar as far as dynamics goes, except for the low-level information, like the breaths and things, they're being brought up in the mix, obviously, because we're compressing a lot. But overall, we're retaining the same dynamics. Let's go ahead and keep processing this, and let's go ahead and listen to that with the piano and make sure that these settings are the right settings that work together, okay? So to the left is PSP Flare for the piano, and to the right is the PSP Flare for the vocalist. Let's rewind it just a little bit, and we'll bring that in. Here we go.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody trying to shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling, and all I wanna do is wake up, humble myself. I shall sit down and shut up with my two-face on. I'm playing my song, gonna turn it up, 'cause I don't really know what the old poets write. Legend it goes like living, let die, and I'm running like the prodigal son.
Very nice. I love it. It retains the performance of the vocalist and the piano, and it brings everything up to the front of the listener to keep it modern, keep it crunchy, but it still doesn't compromise the sound quality or create unwanted artifacts as you normally would have with other compressors. Let me play that same section again with both PSP Flare bypass on the piano and the vocalist, and then we'll play it one more time with it on. Here we go. This is without the compressor on.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody trying to shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling, and all I wanna do is wake up, humble myself. I shall sit down and shut up.
Okay, cool. So right there where the chorus comes in, the piano is too loud and there's no excitement on the vocalist. Now let's play that piece again with PSP Flare on the piano and the vocals.
And I need a miracle. I'm living in a world of wondering. Somebody trying to shoot me down tonight. I'm walking on ground that's crumbling, and all I wanna do is wake up, humble myself. I shall sit down and shut up with my two-face on. I'm playing my song, gonna turn it up, 'cause I don't really know what the old poets write. Legend it goes like living, let die, and I'm running like the prodigal son. Baby, I was born to run.
All right, that's lovely. All right, so that's what a psychoacoustic compressor sounds like. It sounds very natural. You don't get the unwanted artifacts that you would normally get from other compressors. And no, it is not another vintage emulation as you can find online from any plugin company. Nothing wrong with that. However, this is a new approach and a different results that you get from the characteristics of the plugin that works great for dynamic material and for anything else. That's all the time that we have for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear your feedback on the comments below. My name is Alex from Alex Pro Mix on behalf of PSP. For more information, please be sure to visit pspaudioware.com, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Peace.